worrying. I think worrying takes up so much of our time every day, and we don't really realise how much it's actually robbing us of our lives.
Yeah, and it takes up so much mental space as well. It's like our mind can be so full of worry that we don't have time for other things, and we literally can't allow
and I
for
think
anything
most
else.
of us can think of one thing that we worry about every day.
Yes,
The same thing. And if you add that up over in the next 5 years or 10 years, you know, how many, it might have taken a whole year away from your life.
I know, just worrying
just
about
shocking.
it. Yeah, it's something that you really, I mean, worrying in per se is okay if you think, oh, okay, I've had like a warning. It's like a little timer that goes off. But then how long do we have to worry about it?
How long? So that's what we're going to be chatting about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
Join us, and thank you so much for always subscribing and following the show.
Following us, yeah.
And do come and say hi on Instagram too, where you can have all the latest updates. And come watch us on YouTube, where you can see the video. Today we've got our shiny blouses on, haven't we?
We do, yes, indeed. We do have our shinies
for
on.
the new year.
Yes.
The new year.
Still keeping
this
jolly.
Year, I'm not going to worry as much.
No, that's a good New Year's resolution, definitely.
Because I found in my personal life...
Yeah, me too.
The more I worry, I mean, most things I worry about, they don't come true. Most of the stuff.
Yeah, then afterwards when you actually...
I think, why did I worry so much
when
about
the time comes, you think, oh, gosh, that wasn't even worth it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it wasn't worth the worry. I mean, is it ever worth worrying about something?
Not really. I don't think
complete
worrying. I think when the thought comes in your mind that you're worried about something, then you say,
it's time to
what
take
can
action.
I do about it?
Yeah.
That's when you have to take action. And if there is something you can do about it, well, then you do it.
You do it, yeah. But then the worst thing is when you don't do it and you just continue worrying about it.
Yeah, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it because it's a health issue, or it's something that you cannot address that in that day, or it's a fight you've had with someone and you can't solve it. So there's no point worrying about it. You think, I'll do it tomorrow. And you just go and do it, and you say sorry, or you...
It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? We do know.
So easy, but it's all about being in the present moment again.
It is.
We have to take charge of our own minds.
We have to be able to direct our minds into a more... helpful state of mind for ourselves. That's what it is.
I'm thinking of one of the short stories we wrote in Stress Free in 3 Minutes in our book, and it's your favorite playlist. Would you put worry into your favorite playlist? Would you put a song into your favorite playlist that you hated or that made you worry?
That made you feel ill every time, physically, mentally.
If you think of your thoughts like a playlist, why on earth would you torture yourself with something you did not enjoy listening to?
I think the answer is people say, I don't want to torture myself, but that thought just keeps on coming up. And there is nothing I can do about it. That's what people would say.
Well, that's where you're wrong, because there is something you can do about it. You can make it stop. Just like you would stop at a red light and you wouldn't go through it.
Yes, that's right. You can make
or
it
you
stop.
Can stop when I'm listening to a playlist, if I'm listening to some music and then suddenly something else comes on I don't like, I stop it.
Yes.
And I change it to the music that I like, which at the moment is Taylor Swift.
Right,
it could be anybody.
It could be anybody,
I go back to who I want to listen to. So you can do the same with your own mind. You can't just let your mind go nuts on you.
Run loose and just go wild, because then if you start worrying about one thing, what happens is that other things will pop up. Your brain will start focusing on everything that's like concerning to you at the moment. So you've got economical issues, and then maybe some health issues, and then maybe family issues, and it can all add up. And all this worrying ultimately in the end, it's
Or like
it's
that,
not
like the other
it's
day.
not
Do you
healthy,
remember
is
the other
it?
day some insect bit your husband?
Yeah.
And he started staring at it and really worrying about
Yeah, he
it.
was worried. He was so worried. But
And so then I got bitten. I got bitten a few days after
Yeah.
recently. And I was looking at it and it was getting me worried, just like what happened
Yeah,
to Jojo.
yeah.
And I was thinking, here I am worrying about this.
This
No,
silly
stop
thing,
it.
yeah.
Put the cream on it. Take an antihistamine and you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
nothing.
was fine. I
It's
was
nothing. You were
fine.
worried because you got stung by the bees.
Yeah,
and
and I had no allergic reactions.
You had
I
this-
know, but I just think it's our minds just go to these places.
Yes.
And if you do not know how to control them and put them in check of your own mind, you will be in trouble.
you will be in trouble. And a lot of the times these things happen just when you want to rest the most.
Oh my
Your brain
God,
will
of
start,
course.
yes, when you want to go to sleep. And you want to have a good night's sleep. So how can you, like, if you know, what would you say? How
Well,
can you?
the other day I was watching the Empress, and they came up with these
Netflix
the
one. Yeah,
Netflix
that's
one,
cute.
and they came up with these worry dolls. And
Ah.
apparently they originated in Guatemala.
Right.
And little children, they're given to little children, and they're cute as anything, little dolls. They're nothing to do with with anything, bad. And you have this little doll, and you tell your worry to the doll, and then you put it under your pillow.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And then that's it. So what
So
you
you're
can
free
do
of your
is
worry.
You're free of it. So what you can do with your mind, as we've learned, like as a hypnotherapist, is you can say to your worry, "I've heard you. I'm listening to you. It's okay. You're going to be okay. We're going to deal with it."
We'll deal with it if we can.
If we
Like
can,
tomorrow,
and if we
if it's a
can't-
health issue, if it's possible, I'll make an appointment.
Yeah.
Or I'll do something I have to do if I have to do it. If I don't, and it's just waiting, because a lot of the time with health issues, it is just a
Or you
question
put
of-
them off. So then, if you find yourself putting stuff off, you can ask for help. So you can ask a friend or a family member. You can say, "Look, I'm procrastinating. I'm worried about this thing, but I'm
But I'm
actually
not doing
finding
it,
it really
yeah.
difficult, and I'm procrastinating with it. Can you help procrastinating?
Procrastinating,
Can
yeah.
you help me?" Like, can you, check up on me, and either help me make the phone call or make the appointment, or, ask me if I've done it so that I'll do it. And because sometimes we're like these people, we're not computers.
No, we're not,
We're
no.
not. Well, we are in a way,
Yes.
because you can program your mind.
Yes,
but
you
only if
can.
you know how to.
Only if you know
if you have
how
the
to.
tools.
Absolutely, yes. It's all a question of knowing.
Being aware.
So, I mean, we're adults, so we don't have these little dolls, or maybe we still do. If you belong to that culture and
You
you
can buy them online.
really,
Yeah.
yes, the little tiny little traditional little
Cute.
dolls,
Or you can make them if you like making stuff.
and you place all your worries into that little doll, and
Yeah, you have one for each worry, but I would just have one for all of them.
Yeah, seems easier. But the actual symbolism
a
of
symbol.
it is that you are putting them away, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah, or sometimes if you like crystals, or you've got a little favourite thing that you like, a little soft toy or anything,
Yes.
I would just say, use the
Or
the
a power of
imagery
prayer.
it.
You
Yes.
know, if you're religious, wonderful. You send off that prayer, and you can sort of like help yourself, relieve yourself of some of your worries. So let them be, so that you can let them be for the evening, for the night. Put them to one side.
Yeah, I think that's where journaling helps, because you can write it in your journal, and then you say, okay, tomorrow I'll
And you
do
close
this,
the
and then you
diary.
close it
Yes,
and you
that-
go to sleep.
We used to do that when we were little, didn't we? We would write a
did.
diary. Yeah, our mothers
Yeah.
used, our mum
I
used,
would always edit it though.
because you were scared somebody would read it. Yeah.
Never true.
But
Some of
who-
it was true.
Who would ever read it?
Nobody, but you
If
just
it was just me and you, I would certainly not go snooping into your diary. I was not interested, and
no
not.
one would have read it, but I don't know. It's just these things. I wouldn't actually really say what I really felt.
I do. If I look through my diaries, though, I would worry a lot. I would write down my worries. I'm so worried about my math test. I'm so
no,
worried about
I
this.
would write things like that. I'm worried. I would say things like that, but I mean, really, I suppose, really personal things I wouldn't write just in case someone read them.
Yes, obviously, yeah. If it was something really personal, what can be that person when you're a tiny, when you're like 9?
Well, I wrote them till I was older.
Yes,
Till-
yeah, so did
till
I
had
actually,
children.
yeah, but so did I.
Didn't know just when I was 9.
No, you're right. No, it's true.
It'd be
Yeah.
funny to read now. You have to go and have a look at them and see what. But I used to mostly write how great. It was a bit like a gratitude journal. Because
Really,
most
yeah.
of the time I would say how grateful I was, how much I loved my family, my husband.
When you were older.
when I was older,
Yeah,
or
it's like as
how-
a teenager.
Teenager, I can't remember. I'd have to go and have a look. But I do remember worrying about people reading them.
Yes, so that's another worry that you don't want to add on to the worry list.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, if
so-
I just told a little doll, it would have probably been better.
Really?
Well,
you
yeah, because
just-
the doll's not going to say anything, is she?
We did actually used to sleep with our dolls, didn't
All
we?
of them.
Yeah.
None of them would be left out.
No.
The bed would be covered in them.
And they were hard. Like they were
Yeah,
like
they're not
hard
these-
plastic
They're not
dolls.
like these lovely soft ones.
No. Even the actual like teddy bears, I
They
remember
were quite tough.
they were
weren't
quite, in our days they weren't
They're
like
not
these.
like lovely and
No.
soft and plush like they are
No,
now.
they were quite hard. They had like hard little arms and
wire inside.
yeah, and they used to stick all over you, but you'd stuff them all in under the bed covers. I remember, every single toy I ever
Because they
possessed.
would get cold
Yes,
if we didn't.
yeah. It was probably a way of having comfort as well from them, from the dolls.
Sometimes pretty uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. I do remember the little,
I remember
those little
my
hands
doll that was
stick-
quite big and hard. It was a doll I'm talking about.
Yeah. This gets worse. It was.
when we were little, when we were like
We used to
5,
play with.
6.
This is getting
When we were
worse.
6, we had dollies that they
Yeah.
had in those days. That not so much now. There was Barbies as well, but Barbies are pretty.
Well,
they're
yeah,
tough. aren't
they were tough little things.
Not to use the same word.
No.
And they were tough, and it was difficult. It was difficult sleeping with them because I remember they took ages to warm up. They'd be
'Cause they were
cold for ages
plastic,
because
yeah.
the rooms were cold, as well.
Cold
We
as
didn't
well.
have central heating when we were really tiny.
No, but later on we did, but they were still
No,
cold.
But I remember when we used to sleep with them, we didn't have central heating.
Really?
The central heating came when we were quite older. We were like 10 or
Really?
something.
Goodness
yeah.
me. I can't remember the days before central heating.
Oh, I can. It's bloody freezing.
Was it? I just can't remember that. Was it that room with the wallpaper? We had that green
at first
flowery
they didn't
wall.
have central heating in there.
How on earth would the rooms
We're
warm
just
up?
freezing cold.
Did we have like an electric little heater or something? Nothing. Gosh, it must have been freezing. Goodness
Pretty
me. No
chilly.
wonder people used to have to wear hats in bed. Like the woolly hats and things. Did we have
We
them?
didn't have hats, but I don't know what we had. But I don't think we had central. I think we might have had a little radiator in the room.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
think so. Definitely.
We had electric radiators and things.
There
like
must
that.
have been something in there to warm up that house because the house was big. It must have got really cold. I do remember the big, big deal about this central
The
heating.
central heating was a big deal.
That
when it
mum
came.
and dad made a big deal about it, and there was this boiler room
Yeah,
upstairs.
and then the man came and put all the radiators
Oh
in.
yeah, I
and
remember
everything.
that, but kind of
Maybe
yeah.
a bit younger. I don't know.
Obviously, I
Maybe
was a year
just-
younger,
yeah.
and I just probably didn't remember it.
Yeah.
I do remember the house feeling nice and cozy afterwards,
yes,
though.
it was
Yeah.
cozy.
Oh gosh, what a
I think
difference!
we were just used to cooler temperatures.
yeah.
I mean, the
absolutely.
babies used to see like my husband, his sister, who's like 15 years older than he
She's-
is, or 20,
yeah,
20
she's
years
much
older.
older.
When she had her children, she remembers that they used to sleep in woolly hats and coats.
The babies.
The babies
yeah.
would be all wrapped up like as if they were in
Well,
the
what
street.
about you would put the prams outside to let them sleep in the garden?
Yeah.
You would actually put babies and let them sleep, especially if it was a nice cool, no, not cool. It was like a nice winter's day. Even in the winter, though, you would put the baby outside.
Yeah.
I remember Mum, she would sometimes leave, she was a childminder and she would look after like 5 babies at a time. And then one would always be parked like outside the front door. And you're just sleeping.
That sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible, but it was like the fresh air. She
Well,
would say it's
what
good
they
for
do in
babies.
Sweden or something, or in Denmark, in these Nordic countries, they all leave them outside in the freezing cold.
Yeah, because
They're all wrapped up in their
they're all super wrapped up and everything. But yeah, so obviously it was different times. Anyway, we are going off topic here, but anyway,
What's the point of worrying about worry?
yeah, exactly.
Let's
Worry.
think about better things.
Yeah, if you think you have, your mind needs space. It needs to be freed up. It's like all cluttered with worry. It's like your iPhone space or your whatever it is space, your computer space. It needs to be freed up so that you can have space for things that you really want to think about and enjoy and listen to. I think,
And I think a lot of the worry is like past worries. It's things that aren't, that they don't even concern you in the future.
they're like
It's
regrets
maybe
that turn
the
into
regrets,
worry
yes.
because it's you regret and then you worry about the regret of not doing it. There is, you are taking up valuable space in your mind, which you could be enjoying yourself or helping other people.
I was going to say helping people.
A lot of the times by helping others, you feel less worried about your own anxieties.
Yeah.
And it's extraordinary how that works. And that's why volunteering is a really good idea as well, to help relieve
Yeah,
worry.
or doing something you feel as if you're helping people with.
Yeah, obviously, even if it's not volunteering, if
No,
it's helping
if
your
it's something
neighbour
you
or
think you're being useful to people.
whoever, your family, your friends, whatever it is, it makes you feel less anxious as well. So whatever it is, so even as we may not have the little worry dolls, but we can sort of like pretend and get rid of that worry.
Yeah, I mean, you
As
can
we
even
go
just hold a little handkerchief in your hand or something and say, okay, I'm going to put this under my pillow, a tissue. Hey, put your worry in there, under the pillow.
Under the pillow or, in another room. I would say. Keep it at bay. Flush it down the toilet.
That's why you have to have your, I think the room you sleep in has to be a bit of a sanctuary, doesn't it?
I
So
agree.
you have to leave
You
your worries
enter a calmer space.
outside of it. And so that you go
I mean, I
into
love my
lovely-
bed. I absolutely love it. It's like my sanctuary. It's just, I love, that's why everything around it, I have to make it, that's why I'm obsessed with the bed linen and everything. It's always my happy place. The minute I enter it, I feel,
Yeah.
I love it.
That's nice.
Yeah. I really do, and you don't love it as much.
I like it. I like going to sleep in it and doing things in it, but
The actual bed.
I don't spend a lot of time in my bed like you do.
No.
I go to bed at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the
yeah.
morning, or if I've set an earlier bedtime, which now I tend to go to bed a bit earlier, like at 11.
Yeah.
Because if you go to bed too late, then you want to get up. Since
I
work
know,
online, and I don't with people. I don't want to. It makes me get up earlier if I go to bed earlier.
Well, of course it does. Yeah, that makes sense. So you mean you don't want to get up too early?
I do want to get up earlier now in the winter.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because
You want to have a longer day.
Yeah, I want it
Yes.
to be sunny outside. We're lucky it's mostly sunny.
Yeah, me too.
So I want to
Even
see
like
the
on a
light.
Sunday, I want to like enjoy my Sunday. Yeah, I think, oh no, it's
Before
already
I
like...
used to want to sleep in more, and I didn't care about the light so much. But now, maybe because
Yeah.
I'm older, I like to see the light more.
You did care about the light. You were always moaning about how early it was and how dark it was.
In the evenings, but I didn't care if I slept until 12 or something.
Well, really?
Yeah, I used to sleep in loads.
I remember always caring about that.
Maybe you were
Oh,
different.
yeah.
I always used to sleep in till 11 or 12. I didn't care.
Yeah, I
I'd
always used
usually
to
get
think,
a headache
oh no,
though
it's
if I
my
slept
day
in
off.
too much, and I'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
If I sleep in too much and if I got a headache, I don't get headaches now.
Oh no, yeah, because you don't sleep in that much, probably. Yeah. And you
No,
know
but
what?
sometimes I do recuperate. Like if I've been out on a night out, if we've been out, I do sleep in.
Yes,
I do
obviously,
get
you
up
get
at
up
10 or
10,
11. But I
11.
suppose if you go to bed at 2 or 3 in the
That's
morning, it's
normal,
a
yeah.
normal 8, 7,
Yeah.
8 hours.
Yep, absolutely. It
Hmm.
is. So is that what you do to control your worry at night? What do you do?
I try not to worry at all about things now.
Yeah.
I've become very philosophical about things, and I just
Yeah.
think if there's something I can do about it, I'll do it, and I don't go to the worst situation, like the worst scenario. I think I'm like worried out.
Yeah,
I've done
you've had
so much
enough
worry in the
worry.
past
Goodness me, yeah.
that I now, especially with health and that, I just take it very so just one day at a time kind of thing. I'm not gonna.
I mean,
It'll
I've
be
had new
okay.
reasons to
I'll be
worry
okay.
now with
Yeah.
my son's,
Yeah,
health.
but even with them, like before, I would
Yeah.
have been worried sick about your sons, and now I don't worry like that. I just
No,
take
thank
it.
goodness you did used to worry
I used to be
a
so
tad too
empathetic
much,
about
yes.
people, and I'd worry more than the necessary about other people as well, and about their health and
Gosh,
things.
yes, you
And
did,
now
you did.
I don't do that anymore,
No,
and
thank
I'm much
goodness.
freer and
Freer.
happier from it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And in the end, most of it turns out it's always okay. And if
Yeah.
it isn't, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. That's life. So,
I must say, yeah, that is true. Yeah. I even though I've had my son's diagnosis. He's recently been diagnosed with bladder cancer, and that was pretty scary. Really,
yeah.
really scary as a mum. He's so young. He's 27, and I thought, gosh, how am I going to ever overcome this worry now? And it's just constant, because then it's another test, and then he has to do, it's just, but I've managed to somehow take it day by day,
Yeah.
and sort of live from my health experience as well. Just understand that, these things are what they
They're
are, and
transitory as well, aren't they?
I hope they're transitory, and I hope they go away. And I mean, he's had an operation and everything, but then it is easy to go down that spiral, isn't it? With
Well,
things like
yes.
cancer,
Yeah.
you worry and worry and worry, you can go down. So, but I've managed to put it like to one side, and only think about it when it's necessary. When he comes and he talks to me about it, then I'll think about it, or when it's the next test or something. But I've managed to somehow separate things in my mind, so I can still have a lovely hot chocolate and really enjoy that hot chocolate without it overtaking.
Well,
I think
yeah,
it's something
because
I have
otherwise
learned to do.
yes,
It's something,
obviously,
it's a
yeah.
skill.
It is a
You
skill.
learn how to do this through things that happen to you in life.
Yeah, and through the tools that you have.
Obviously, yes, through the tools, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to do it, don't you? You think, how else would you manage to do it?
Well, yeah.
You
Otherwise,
otherwise,
you don't manage that. What you said, it's not easy to do these things. You have to
no,
think.
with loved ones, with yourself, with anybody else, you end up just having a whole day of worry, and what's the point? There is absolutely nothing that you can do most of the time. You can follow the doctor's orders and everything, but that's it. Then your duty is to live your life, and
Thing with worry as well is if you're worried about, let's say, if you're worried about your son, you're not able to enjoy your son as he is now.
no, it's always thinking
It's
of the
always just
future.
worrying about something that might not even happen.
Another test.
Yeah.
When is the next test?
So you're like stealing the moment away again.
It is difficult to do, I must admit. It's harder when it is one of your kids, that is affected. It's tough. However, it is possible to do. And I am living proof of this. It really is possible. So you can do it. You can put aside, you can enjoy yourself as well, and, keep things separate, I think.
Yeah.
And not go down the spiral.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think everyone has their own journey as well. So if you're a person that's very empathetic and you're taking on everyone else's problems and
Yes,
journeys,
exactly.
it's going to be far too much for you to handle, and it's not a good thing. It's just, you just have to be like thinking, I'm just free, and like, just now in the moment, am I okay right now in the moment, sitting on this chair talking
Yes,
to you? Yes, I'm
yes.
fine. No, there's nothing. Otherwise, you're like,
Always
you're
in the future,
but
aren't
always
you?
in the future, but also you're like imprisoning yourself. You're like enslaving yourself in this thing that's not even real. So like, you're incarcerating yourself in a thought that's not even real. It's an imaginary thought that you're not. Who would you be without that thought? You would be.
You would be free. You would be free without that thought. So absolutely.
To free
Yeah.
yourselves.
Free yourselves from worry.
Free yourselves from worry, and obviously take the necessary actions that you
Obviously.
need to take, and
Yeah.
just be joyful.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
Next week, next episode.
Lots of love and smiles from the
English sisters.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.